Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends. Today I am going to start chapter 33 from the book Guyton and Hall, textbook of medical physiology, 14th edition. So the aim is to read and quick review chapter 33, which consists of red blood cells, anemia and polycythemia. So I divide this chapter 33 into three parts, and this video is about the first part, consisting of introduction to red blood cells and basic information about the red blood cells. But before that, I would like to introduce unit 6, which is blood, and the blood module consisting of 5 chapters: chapter 33, chapter 34, chapter 35, chapter 36 and chapter 37. Chapter 33 consists of blood cells, anemia and polycythemia. Chapter 34 consists of resistance of the body to infection, and it has two parts. One in the chapter 34, and it consists of leukocytes, granulocytes, monocytes and macrophage system and inflammation. While the chapter 35, which is the part 2 of resistance of the blood infection, consists of immunity and allergy. While the chapter 36 from unit 6 consists of blood type, transfusion, tissue and organ transplantation. And in the last part of blood module, that is unit 6, you will study chapter 37, which is consisting of hemostasis and blood circulation. So without any delay, we will move towards chapter 33, unit 6, Guyton and Hall. Chapter 33 starts with the red blood cells. Red blood cells are also known as erythrocytes. So the subheadings under this is shape and size of red blood cells, concentration of red blood cells in the blood, quantity of hemoglobin in the cells. So this will be part 1 of chapter 33 that we will cover in this video. The rest of the part consists of production of red blood cells, that means how the red blood cells are formed in the body. So this heading further divide into area of the body that produce red blood cells, hemoglobin formation and iron metabolism. The blood diseases included in this chapter are anemia and polycythemia. Anemia, particularly blood loss anemia and aplastic anemia, which is further divided into megaloblastic anemia and hemolytic anemia. So in this way we will study anemia and polycythemia. So if we move towards the book, okay, this is chapter 33, you can see here, and we are now going to start reading it without any delay. Basically, this chapter 33 consists of discussion about the red blood cells, macrophage system and lymphatic cells. So the first part consists of red blood cells. Red blood cells are the major function of red blood cells is to transport hemoglobin, and the function of hemoglobin is to carry oxygen from the lungs to the tissues. So indirectly, red blood cells are also involved in the transportation of oxygen from the lungs to the tissues. And then I will skip a few lines because I read all this and some part are not so important. So come directly to the other function of red blood cell. The red blood cells have other function besides transport of hemoglobin. For example, they contain a large quantity of carbonic anhydrase, an enzyme that catalyzes reversible reaction between carbon dioxide and water to form carbonic acid. What does it mean? What the author is trying to say here is that red blood cells uh, contain a large quantity of an enzyme which is known as carbonic anhydrase. So you must remember the enzyme which is present in the red blood cell. It is carbonic anhydrase. Sorry. What is the function of this enzyme? It catalyzes the reversible reaction. What is the meaning of reversible reaction? Actually, when carbon dioxide and water combine together, they form a weak acid which is carbonic acid. So carbonic acid is divided into bicarbonate ion and hydrogen ion. So this is why it is known as reversible reaction. That is, carbonic acid do not maintain its shape. So here we will see that RBC contain a large quantity of carbonic anhydrase and catalyzes the reversible reaction between carbon dioxide and water and form carbonic acid. Now what happened? It increases the rate of this reaction several thousand folds, means it increases the speed of this reaction too much, which increases carbonic anhydrase increases in speed. Okay, so the rapidity the rapidity of this reaction make it possible for the water of the blood, or indirectly you can say it is possible for the blood to transport a large quantity of carbon dioxide in the form of bicarbonate ions. First of all, what happened? Carbon dioxide and water combines and form carbonic acid, which then divided in break down into bicarbonate ion, and indirectly carbon dioxide is transported with the help of blood in the form of bicarbonate ion from the tissues to the lungs, where it is reconverted to carbon dioxide again in the form when this bicarbonate ion reaches the lungs. It again converted to carbon dioxide and expelled into the atmosphere as a body waste product, because you all also know that carbon dioxide is a waste product for the body and it has to be removed. So our red blood cells and its enzyme play important role in the removal of carbon dioxide. The hemoglobin in the cell is an excellent acid-base buffer. So the red blood cells are responsible for most of the acid-base buffer powering of the whole blood. So in this way we can say the three basic functions are mentioned here. First is to transport the oxygen from the lungs into the tissues, and then transport carbon dioxide from the tissues into the lungs, so that a carbon dioxide will be removed from the body. And the third function is acid-base buffering. So blood is a very good acid-base buffer. If we go further, we will see the shape and size of the red blood cells. Normal red blood cells are biconcave disc and having a mean diameter of about 7.8 micrometers. For that we have a picture, and on PowerPoint I can show you. And why this is called a biconcave disc? This is called biconcave disc because the cell, if you see the top of the cell, you will see something biconcave shape, and you flip the cell, you always see the concave shape. So you can say it is concave at the top, and if you flip it downward, you can also see the concave shape. So the disc shape is biconcave. That is why it is called biconcave. And the diameter is 7.8 micrometer, thickness is 2.5 micrometer at the thickest point, and 1 micrometer or less in the center. The average volume of red blood cells is 90 to 95 cubic meters. You can see in the picture how the biconcave red blood cells look like. The shape of red blood cells can change remarkably as cells squeeze through the capillaries. Actually, the RBCs resemble a bag that can be deformed into any shape. You know, red blood cells are so soft that they can change their shape when they squeeze through the squeeze means they become smaller in size at some point, so that they can pass easily to the capillaries. You can see the picture. First of all, the size of the RBC is large. but when it is going through the pore of the capillary, its size is decreased, and this is called the squeezing. So the red blood cells can pass easily through the capillaries. And then we come to the next topic, subheading: how much concentration of red blood cells is present in the blood. In healthy man, when we talk about a healthy man, the average number of red blood cells per cubic millimeter is 50 to 100,000. We are talking about the male person, and in a healthy woman it is 4700,000. And if someone is living at high altitudes, at that time the number of red blood cells become much more than this. You can see how much 5200,000 and 4700,000, a large amount of cells present in our blood. Quantity of hemoglobin in the cells. This is the next heading. Red blood cells can concentrate the hemoglobin in the cell fluid up to 34 gram per 100 ml of the cells. What does it mean? For example, blood is a fluid, you all know, right? If we take 100 ml of the cells from the blood, we find out that 34 gram hemoglobin is present in those cells. The concentration does not rise above this value because this is the metabolic limit of the cell's hemoglobin forming mechanism. Furthermore, in normal person, the percentage of hemoglobin is almost always near the maximum each cell. And what is the maximum value? 34 gram per 100 ml of the cells. However, when hemoglobin formation is deficient, the percentage of hemoglobin in these cells will decrease. And as a result, what will happen? The volume of red blood cells will also decrease. How? You know, the RBCs are bag-like structure, and it contains a lot of hemoglobin. And if there is deficiency of hemoglobin, what happened? The volume, the shape will decrease because hemoglobin is removed from that. So to fill the cell, we need hemoglobin. As the hemoglobin is less, so this will decreases the volume of the red blood cells. And when the hematocrit, do you know what is hematocrit? Hematocrit is the percentage of blood that is composed of cells, normally 40% to 45%, and the quantity of hemoglobin in each prospective cell are normal. What the author is trying to say, that when the hematocrit, that is number of cells, are normal in the body, and when the hemoglobin is normal in the body, at that time what happened? The whole blood of the man, the male person is about 15 gram hemoglobin per 100 ml. 15 gram hemoglobin per 100 ml, and for the women it contains an average of 14 gram hemoglobin per 100 ml. And as discussed, and somewhere else it is mentioned that it is already mentioned in detail, but here we are just introducing. So it is mentioned here that the blood transport oxygen, okay, blood transport of oxygen, each gram of hemoglobin can combine with 1.34 ml of the oxygen. What does it mean? It means that 1 gram hemoglobin contain or combine with 1.34 ml of oxygen. If the hemoglobin is 100% saturated, what does it mean? 100% saturated means actually hemoglobin is attached with the red blood cells, and there are some attachment points. If the hemoglobin combine all those attachment points, in that case it is called 100% saturated. So in that case, each gram, यानी कि 1 gram hemoglobin combined with 1.34 ml of oxygen. So what does it mean? It means that, we already discussed that 15 gram hemoglobin combined with 15 gram hemoglobin is present in 100 ml of blood. So if we multiply 15 into 1.34, क्यों? Because 1 gram hemoglobin contain 1 gram hemoglobin combined with 1.34 oxygen, 34 ml of oxygen. So in the male person there is 15 gram of hemoglobin. So when we multiply 15 gram into 1.34, so that we will get 20 ml of oxygen in the male carried by the male person, and 19 millimeter of oxygen can be carried in the women. Here we will stop our topic, and in the next lecture, in the next reading, we will continue with the production of red blood cells, and the first heading will be area of the